Hello and welcome back to Pre-Algebra. We are in section 1.6, problem solving the 4-point checklist. This is a 2-minute video at most. Lame joke of the day: what can go up the chimney down but can't go down the chimney up? How's that for a tongue twister? Goes up the chimney down but can't go down the chimney up. Well, it's an umbrella. As long as it's closed, it can go up the chimney. You open it up, one of those big old sports umbrellas, you're not going to get it down the chimney. So what are they talking about on page 22 of Bob Jones University Press? Well, this is a 4-point checklist. It just gives you an idea of how to attack word problems, and to me it is just a common way to do it. But maybe sometimes it helps to have things written out. So what are we going to do? We're going to read, we're going to plan, we're going to solve, and then we're going to check. 4 steps that give you a plan of attack for dealing with a word problem. A plan of attack for dealing with your schedule for the day, a plan of attack for cleaning out your closet, a plan of attack for life. If you just go out there shooting blindly, working blindly without a solution, things can be difficult. There's a very famous quote out there, I have no idea who originated it, even if they even know. But there's a whole lot of truth to it. In fact, I just heard it the other day again. And it says, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. What is this saying? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. That tells you that a little bit of consideration to what you're doing is going to really help you out. And if you don't take the time to come up with a good plan, what you've in essence done is said, okay, I'm not going to come up with a procedure I want to use, so I'm pretty much decided that I'm going to fail this thing. And it's sort of scriptural too. The verse that says, a man plans his steps, but the Lord orders his direction, and that's, didn't get quoted exactly right, but man plans his course, the Lord directs his paths. So even there, even though we want to always be sensitive to the leading of the Holy Spirit in our lives, and we want to walk in the way God desires us to walk, the way that He leads us to walk, we still have that responsibility that He gives us to have a plan for what we're going to do. Same thing in math. You've got a math problem, and actually I was working with one of my children with chemistry. I said, okay, well what do we have here? What's the problem? Say, oh, well, they didn't read it. If you don't read your problem the whole way through, you read it the first capital letter, you stop when you get to the period at the end, so that you have all of your information. Secondly, once you have read the problem, then you can think, okay, what exactly are they asking me to do? And secondly, how can I accomplish that? So you've read it, you've come up with a plan of attack. What do you do next? Well, you implement that plan of attack. You solve the problem. And then what do? Well, if you're like most of us, you say, oh, I'm done. This 4th step right here will save you all sorts of headaches in your math career. It will save you all sorts of headaches in life. It will save you headaches as you grow up and have to do things like reconcile checkbooks and manage the money that God entrusts into your care. Take the time to go back and check and make sure your answer is reasonable. If I've read this problem, okay, Johnny is riding his bicycle and it takes him, Johnny's really little, and it takes him a half an hour to ride 1 mile. How fast is Johnny driving? And you say, oh, well, okay, I want to figure out miles per hour. How fast is he going? Johnny goes 1 mile in half an hour. How far is he going to go? In 2 miles, in an hour. What's his speed? Oh, I know, it's 100 miles an hour. Here it's all done, teach, here's this fancy formula that I put. Johnny's driving 100 miles an hour. Think about it, seriously? It's illegal to drive a car 100 miles an hour on the road. A lot of the cars that we have out there, the old ones, won't even go that fast. Is it likely that little Johnny on his bicycle is going 100 miles an hour? No. They've taken the time to check for an answer and to see if it's reasonable. They would have found the problem on their own. And you might be saying, oh, good grief, I know that that kid is not going 2 miles an hour. Yeah, but you get so caught up, 100 miles an hour. The actual speed that he's going was, of course, 2 miles an hour. But what happens a lot of the time is as you grow in the problems that you're learning to do, as you move up into high school sciences and things, you don't take the time to realize, okay, a temperature increase of minus 17 doesn't make any sense. That minus 17 might have been a solution to the equation that you came up with, but what did the problem ask for? It's looking for, in this case, an actual increased temperature, and your temperature decreased. Okay? So let's look at one example. Solve using the 4-point checklist. Number 1, the 8th grade class plans to produce a 3-act play. The set for the play will cost $138.29. The play scripts will cost $42.75. The costumes for the play will cost $87.49. What will be the total cost of the play? Now what we are tempted to do is to think, oh my word, I have a 3-sentence problem I have to do, and you read it and you skip over words, you miss things, you don't get to the end. You make an assumption that you know what the problem is going to say, and you don't. So be careful to take the time to read it carefully. So what do we have? Okay, they're doing a play. Well, that's information. It tells us what's going on, but it doesn't have anything to do with our actual problem-solving thing. I'm looking for my eraser, which is over here. So what are they doing? They're looking at their expenses, and they're trying to figure out what the total cost is for the play. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to say, well, okay, I have sets, and I have scripts, and I have costumes, I believe. Sets, scripts, and costumes. And all of these cost money. Right? They're calculating the cost of the play. How are you going to figure out how much the play costs altogether? Well, isn't the total cost going to be how much the sets and the scripts and the costumes cost? All right. So you're going to set up a problem that says $138.29 for the sets plus $42.75 plus $87.49. And when you add those dollar amounts together, you have the total cost for the play. And by the way, yeah, it's tedious, but I want you to do your addition by hand, your subtraction by hand, multiplication, division. We're not using calculators in the course yet. This is all that we have for section 1.6, and I will see you next time.